Hi everyone, Carnage here with another Thoughts video, the fifth of a series of 6 covering E3 2019. This is the SquareEnix conference. We'll talk about our opinions on the entire thing towards the end. Let's go ahead and dive right into Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh man, this was one of the highlights for all of E3 for me. I loved seeing the progress. I loved seeing the reveals. They had a ton of stuff to show in this game. They had devs breaking down mechanics. They showed boss fights. They showed characters that the fans have been chomping at the bit for. This was a perfect example of how I feel in a perfect world every E3 game reveal should be. Like, it covered all the bases. It had everything. It was great, and I was glued to it the entire time. Now, granted, Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite Final Fantasies, and I've been anxiously awaiting the remake. Yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing where it was just great. I had a good time with it. It was awesome seeing Tifa. It was awesome seeing Sephiroth. It was great getting a little bit more fundamental information on what the game is doing and where they're going with it. By the way, I do want to say, though, one thing at this point. About this game in general, I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned. And the reason I'm concerned is because the status of what we've seen so far has looked great and it's looked awesome. But what I've learned in this presentation is that the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1, what we will be getting in March, is essentially the first 5.5 to 6 hours of the actual Final Fantasy VII game. Now, we're getting it in a beautifully remade format with a new combat system and all sorts of incredible stuff, and it's going to be great. But it's taken them a long time to get here. And unless they've established some kind of incredible conveyor belt of content creation, the fact that we're seeing the first game on March 3rd, and then we don't even know when the subsequent game is, they don't even know how much content the subsequent game is going to cover. Like, I'm actually concerned we may never see the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake for another 20 years. Like, are they... I don't understand with what we're getting in March how they are possibly going to do this properly. Because, yeah, maybe 20 or 25 years. Yeah, no, because you have to keep in mind, like, what we're getting in March is essentially everything up until you leave Midgard. But for the actual Final Fantasy VII game, when you leave Midgard is when the game begins. That's when stuff, like, starts. And for the last, who knows how many years, because they've kept it under wraps, they've only been working on this little part. So there's no roadmap for the game. They've already said it will most likely be multiple years between games. So it's just like, how many games are they expecting to get out of this? Is there going to be like Final Fantasy VII the Remake in 9 parts? Are we going to have a save game that moves between them? How's character grinding going to work? Karushi says you're totally overthinking it. No, here's the thing. I'm not overthinking it because all I'm doing is going off on what we're given. So all I'm doing is looking in my head. I'm dividing up the entire Final Fantasy VII game. I'm looking at the portion that is what we're getting in March, and I'm going, how in the hell are we going to get that many more parts until the end of the game? Now, maybe the different parts are really going to like explode in terms of content, and that'd be awesome. Like, maybe the first game is only going to be like, you know, a 10 to 15 hour romp through Midgard, and then the second game is going to be like a 30-hour, you know, first third of the game. But even then, you're talking about like, okay, so 3 more games? And then that's probably going to be the course of a decade? Optimistically? So, I don't know, man. Like, yeah. Okay, so somebody just said the first game is going to be 40 plus hours. Okay, but that makes it even more confusing. So they're going to make something that took the original game like 6 to 10 hours and make that 4 times as long? Okay, then how are they going to do that to the rest of the game? Are they going to make the rest of the game shorter? Like, that bodes even worse if they're taking little parts of the game and making that last a lot longer in the remake. Then that means there's even less of a chance we're going to get the whole game delivered. So here, anyway, TLDR, nobody knows the answer to this. I don't even know if they know the answer to this. But I have to say that I'm wondering if they're taking the term remake to the point where the game is going to be like totally different. Like, what if the game ends at a different point? What if they just remove giant portions of Final Fantasy VII in the interest of development and time? Like, that's what I'm curious about. Because at the rate they're going, I just don't see how they're going to cover everything. I mean, Final Fantasy VII arguably is already an abridged book. So how do you take that and then make it into this, like, it's not episodic, but it's not episodic. I don't like, they're doing something weird with Final Fantasy VII Remake. We, of course, will be following it. I hope it's awesome. I hope it works, and I hope everyone's happy with it. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is going to be, like, I feel like there's lots of spinning plates here, and that if one of them falls, like, everything could have a problem. But anyway, again, here, let me, now that I've said all the negative stuff, let's get to the good stuff. What was there is beautiful. What was there works. What was there made me... If I could play what I saw throughout the entire Final Fantasy VII game, we're talking like game of the decade. Like, that could be incredible. If they actually pull off what we're all hoping they do, then this is going to be one of the most ambitious, largest remakes we have ever seen. The only issue I have with it is that I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. I sure hope they do, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. But I'll tell you this, we'll be there every step of the way. I really hope to see this vision realized. I hope they know what they're getting into, and I can't wait to see how it develops. So that's where I am with that. And yeah, I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to play it. Life is Strange 2. Don't have a lot to talk about with this one because I didn't play Life is Strange 1 all the way. Just a game that I actually tried to play Life is Strange 1 a couple times. Couldn't really get super involved in it. I know a lot of people love Life is Strange. I think Life is Strange 2 is probably going to cater to those folks as well. I'm sure it's probably a great game, but I didn't finish Life is Strange 1, so I don't know if I'm going to play 2. We'll see where it goes. Okay, now this is when I think we may be getting to a long list of these, because basically, this is the part of the conference that wasn't really for me, but I understand why lots of people are thrilled. And what SquareEnix is basically doing is remastering and porting lots of their old classics into the new world. So, like Crystal Chronicles, like, that's awesome. I'm sure a lot of people are super pumped about that. I think we have like a few of these are in the same boat. Octopath Traveler coming to Switch. That's just a no-brainer. Excuse me, coming to PC, I think. Regardless, people love Octopath. I loved it for hours. Yeah, I think that's it's pretty awesome. So I'm sure a lot of people are pretty. I mean, seeing Octopath Traveler on a GTX 280 at 60 FPS, I mean, that's living. Am I right? That's living. Yeah. Wow. Front desk. All right. Last Remnant Remastered. Last Remnant, one of my favorite games from back in the day. Awesome that it's getting a remaster. The only game, for the record, the only game that will punish the absolute hell out of you for grinding if you don't do it properly. And me, as a grinder, I ruined my first Last Remnant game because I grinded so much that I made the bosses impossible to kill. It's a thing. I don't know if they patched it out of it, but it was absolutely ridiculous. The point of the game is basically if you can get through it quicker, then all the game is balanced around it. But if you actually like get your battle rank and stuff way too high, then everything becomes extremely difficult. And oh my god, it's like a reverse progress thing. It's super weird. But anyway, yeah, I think not only was the Last Remnant thing, by the way, not only was that really an announcement for it, but I think they're also porting it as well. Yeah, thank you, Luke Arkia. They're also porting it to Switch. So cool. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be thrilled about that. It's going to be a great game for the Switch. Just don't grind too much, for the love of God. Don't pull a Cohh. Okay. Dragon Quest builders, not super into large voxel games. I know a lot of people in the community were Dragon Quest Builder fans. Dragon Quest Builder 2 looks like it does everything that the first one did and then kind of pushes it to the next level. I'm sure a lot of people are thrilled. Not a big thing for me personally, but good luck to Dragon Quest fans. I think this is another, like, remake port stuff. Again, not really, not for me. Circuit Superstars. Let me take a quick look here. Circuit Superstars was... Oh, yeah. When I was growing up in the arcade in the late 90s, there was a game that you could go and put in a quarter and had a steering wheel and pedals, and you would basically like top down drive your little car around a thing. Battalion 1944, it looks to be like a cool little multiplayer shooter game back in the day. Yeah, I think it was called Off-Road 4x4. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, so, but anyway, this is not really for me. I don't really play this. I've heard it's pretty fun from some people that have been playing it. But yeah, I think it's an older game being remade, or maybe it's a new game that looks like an older game. I don't know. I was a little confused by it because I didn't really know about it. But yeah, it looked kind of fun. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. Not a lot here, and I was somebody who has played all the Kingdom Hearts or watched them. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, there was like a couple lines in it that looked like it could be kind of interesting, but weirdly enough, it looks like it takes place at the end of 3. Like, it shows the last fights from 3, which was a little like, are they really showing this? But I guess if you haven't played it, you don't really understand the spoilers. But yeah, we might be checking it out, might not, depends on how much they go into like the interesting aspects of it that I'm kind of interested in, but yeah, new Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. Kingdom Hearts fans, I'm sure, are thrilled. Shadowbringers. Man, I wish I played more Final Fantasy 14. I do. Between this and ESO, those are probably the two best MMOs on the market, in my opinion. This game is getting a very, very cool expansion. I am thrilled that there are established members of the community here in the channel that are playing this into the ground, because I plan on talking to them frequently about their experience in the game and living it vicariously through them. It looks like all sorts of fun stuff are coming. Huge amounts of main quests, new jobs, new dungeons, like just more. The guy on stage literally said that the amount of content in this expansion, it rivals like single player RPG games. Awesome. I love that this game is still going. I love that it's still happening. I kind of miss that I don't play it anymore. And yeah, if you're a Final Fantasy player, please have fun for me. And don't forget to stop by the channel and let us know how it's going. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one goes, for sure. Oh, now, this game itself is one of my most hyped games right now. I am a huge Dying Light fan. I love almost everything about it. And then Dying Light 2 is not only the continuation of that, but it also has Chris Avellone, one of my favorite video game writers. And it's just looking great. Unfortunately, Dying Light 2 to Ubisoft suffers the same issues that Outer Worlds had with Microsoft, where both the companies announced. Oh, excuse me. This was the SquareEnix. So Dying Light to SquareEnix is the same as Outer Worlds to Microsoft, and the reason being is because when Microsoft happened, they announced Outer Worlds would be there, and I was really excited. I was like, awesome, we're gonna get like an interview and in-depth stuff. It's gonna be great. And then the Microsoft conference came around, and they basically just ran a little trailer, and that was it. And then later, in interviews and on other shows, they had like 20-minute gameplay demos of Outer Worlds and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, why wasn't any of this at the show? That's essentially what happened to Dying Light 2. Where we were told Dying Light 2 was going to be at the Square show. I know I was really excited to see like new stuff and new content. And then they showed like a trailer and moved on. And then later we got a whole bunch of more Dying Light info and little interviews and gameplay videos and stuff like that. So not entirely sure what was going on with that, but I will say everything we've seen from this project looks great. I can't wait to play it. For the record, no, it was not Matt Mercer in the trailer. I don't even know if he's in this project. And yeah, I can't wait for more Dying Light 2. It's we're gonna be replaying Dying Light 1. I can't wait to play that game again. And yeah, it's Dying Light 2, man. I'm excited. I'm pumped. It's looking good. Romancing Saga 3. Who am I romancing? What's going on here? This is the oh, this is one of the little remake things, right? Yeah. This is an old school game. Wait, is it? Did I miss this? No, I think I missed this. I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the trailer and I have no idea what this is. Okay, Chad is saying this is one of the better games in the series. Yeah, I think I missed this one. I missed like 5 minutes of Ubisoft or Square Enix, and I think I missed that. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and skip it. I'll look into that more later. If you're interested in my thoughts on that, stop by the channel and ask sometime. Doesn't matter what game I'm playing. If I see it, I'll try to get you some information on it. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, of course, this is when I go back into the VOD of me watching this and listen to all the commentary when I actually did watch it and just completely forgot that I did. Okay. Brave Exvius. Is this the mobile game? Brave Exvius? There were a lot of these games back to back, yeah. Ah, the mobile game. Outriders. Okay, Outriders. Outriders. Let me just... Yeah, so this one seems pretty cool. For the record, guys, I don't skip mobile games because I'm trying to make some big commentary on mobile games. I just don't play mobile games. I don't play mobile games. If I game on a PC or I game on a console. That's how I work. So the reason I skip the mobile games is because I don't play them. It'd be like if you wanted me to comment on a racing game or League of Legends. That's not what I do, man. That's not what I do. Outriders looks interesting. I didn't really know what to think about this game. The world looked gorgeous. The enemy design and everything looked really cool. Like I don't know what to think about this game because it looked great, but we didn't, from what I remember, see much of the gameplay. Was there any gameplay or was it all cinematic? I think it was all cinematic now that I'm thinking about it, right? But I will say this. I feel similarly to Outriders as I felt to Ghostwire, where it's like, yes, I didn't see gameplay, but you've got my interest. Like this is much better than nothing. I always prefer gameplay, but I liked what I saw, and I'd like to know more. That's how I feel about it. Gameplay is always paramount, but if you don't have gameplay or for some reason can't show it, I'll take a really sexy trailer. And I felt like I got that with Outriders. So yeah, wanting more info, looked cool, and hopefully we'll get more, including some gameplay, as we move forward. Oninaki. 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 This was the RPG for the Nintendo Switch, I believe. Yes. This was the RPG, the kind of ARPG-ish. I'm not exactly what it is, because is it a remake? Oninaki is a spiritual successor of I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere. Oh my. Okay. Well, that sounds pretty interesting. Again, I don't know much about any of those. So, even I think it's by the I Am Setsuna devs, right? Yeah. Okay. It's by the I Am Setsuna devs, and yeah, it looks interesting. It's definitely the kind of thing where it's not really in my wheelhouse. But yeah, it's a project we may be looking into in the future, and we will see what it looks like. Looking for. Oh, it's already on Steam. Okay, cool. It's an action RPG. Telling the oh, that was the game that called them Watchers, because everyone was like, isn't that what they call them in Dragon Age? Yeah, yes, okay. Or in Pillars of Eternity. Wait. Yes. Okay, PoE, there we go. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. This one caught me a little bit off guard, because here's what's funny. Right now, you can get Final Fantasy VIII on PC. And when you get it on PC, you can get lots of great graphical enhancements and plugins that make it look really good. And it looks a lot better than this remaster. So I was a little bit torn because it's like, I never beat Final Fantasy VIII, but I really enjoyed it. And I saw this and I was like, oh, cool, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. And then I saw the actual graphics and I was like, oh. And then I was like, wait a second. My buddy JP recently played through this and I actually went back and looked at some of his VODs. And the PC version with plugins looks so much better than the remaster. Yeah. Now, apparently some people are saying in chat right now that the remaster actually looks much better and you have to compare the pictures. Okay, maybe I need to go back and look at that a little bit more. But I gotta say that I have seen people play 8 with the texture packs and everything on the PC, and it looked great. Like, it looked a lot better than when I played it back in the day. And then when I looked at the remaster during the SquareEnix conference, I was like, this looks a little better? Like not quite as much? And that's when I went back and looked, and the few things I looked at did look a lot better. But again, maybe I need a side-by-side or something. to see how that is. And that is true. I am talking about the PC version. So if you're a console only person, the remaster is of course a very big deal, as you can never get that on that. But yeah, cool stuff. I do like seeing them kind of bring back these older games into a new day and age, especially games as quality as them. And yeah, pretty cool. And looking forward to seeing how it is. Still, though, I do have to say, if I were to play Final Fantasy VIII again, I would play it on the PC with mods. And like my excellent YouTube guy, Red Eyed Monster, just said, the hauling ass mod is the best, letting you run around super fast. That kind of stuff for older games is actually pretty amazing. Especially considering, like, hours and hours of your gameplay in old Final Fantasy games is just running between zones, like, in the city, like, back and forth. So, yeah, that kind of stuff can be pretty awesome. Marvel's Avengers. Okay, so here's the thing. Not a big Marvel guy. Haven't seen Infinity War or whatever that is. I don't watch a lot of Marvel stuff. The game cinematics look pretty good. There were times when the gameplay looked like it could be fun. Like at one point, Hulk is like running across cars and he leaps and picks up a tank and slams on someone. Looks kind of cool. I mean, looked kind of fun. There was nothing about the trailer that made me go, I need to play this game. In fact, even the story, which used to be original like 10 years ago, is seeming kind of tropey, where it's like, oh, the superheroes did something and now everyone hates them and now we're broken up and now we need to come together and make us popular again. I have to admit, I've seen that story like 20 times and I barely watch movies. So when I saw that kind of happening, I was just kind of like, oh, here we go. Like, this is okay. So I'm hoping there's going to be like more meat in it. But then I learned later that they are literally calling it a live service, which might be okay because Crystal Dynamics is a pretty established, decent company, and maybe they can actually pull off the live service. But I don't know, man. The more I hear about, and they're doing console exclusive stuff. Like, the more I hear about this game, the more I'm kind of like, I hope it's a fun game. I hope it's a game that has a lot of customization that promotes longevity, and I really hope that we don't see another Anthem. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, the TLDR with Marvel Avengers, I'll probably be checking it out. It did look very pretty. There's a good dev studio behind it, but there are certainly some red flags with the project, and we'll see where it goes. Now, on that note, there is some leaked gameplay and some stuff written about the behind doors closed stuff. And from what we're hearing, the gameplay does sound pretty damn fun. Like, I had multiple people say that it's just a fun game to play, which is good because I don't know how much character customization / longevity we're going to get with established superheroes. There's only so much you can upgrade an established character like Iron Man or Thor in a game when, you know, they're based on characters that like normally never really change. Like superheroes don't generally go through drastic increases in power in these movies or anything unless it's like tied to the plot directly or something. So I don't know if they have some mechanic in this game where they're going to actually, like, you know, maybe they haven't been together for 5 years and everyone's really rusty and you got to get good again. But, you know, and of course Iron Man, you know, gets different components. Thor had some kind of crazy cool looking tech suit on. Maybe that gets upgraded. Hulk maybe gets angrier. I don't know. You know, maybe they have little gimmicks. Black Widow could get all sorts of new gadgets and stuff. But, you know, is that what she does? Is she like Batman, but a chick? I don't even know who she is. But anyway, yeah, it looks like it could be cool. And we'll be following it and seeing how it goes. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm definitely going to check it out regardless. Overall thoughts on Square Enix. I feel similar about Square Enix as I did Ubisoft, except not nearly to the degree. So for Ubisoft, I felt like it was an okay conference, but it was almost devoid of substance, where I felt like they were kind of just continuing on their established franchises, a new thing here and there. But I will say that the Square Enix conference, I felt, although similar in terms of it didn't have a lot of like new stuff, where it's a lot of remasters, a lot of remakes, a lot of ports. I will say that I feel the Square Enix had a little bit more meat. And also, I do need to give Square Enix a big shout out, as that Final Fantasy VII reveal and presentation was probably one of the best at E3 in terms of quality and substance. Just how much they showed, how clearly plugged into the fans they were, how they gave everybody exactly what they'd been asking for months. Like, it was The Final Fantasy VII reveal was a good example of how to do E3 right, in my opinion, and honestly, arguably was one of the best reveals in the entire show, not just this showcase, but the entire show as a whole. So yeah, Square Enix, definitely not my highest rated one, but definitely not my lowest, and definitely enjoyed what I saw from them. It was good, and I'm looking forward to next year as well. On that note, that wraps up our 5th of 6 E3 wrap-ups. I want to thank you guys as always for joining me. If you'd like to check out Microsoft, Bethesda, PC Gamer, or Ubisoft, you can find them in the same playlist here. Also, if you enjoyed the show, make sure to stop by our channel, twitch.tv/Carnage. I'd love to say hi to you, as I'm sure many other people would too. So thank you, and we'll see you next time. Next coming up is Nintendo. So see you in a minute.